Hey, it's me, Tommy. Today we're talking about lights. Big surprise. We have the Aputure barn doors, the Aputure dual V-mount battery plate, and the Light Dome SE. I've actually been using the Light Dome SE as my key light for a majority of my videos for the past few months, and I really like it. It's a little bit difficult to put together and take down. If you're going to be keeping it set up forever in a studio, then it's ideal for that. And it takes up slightly less space than the previous huge parabolic softbox that I had. And if you're using diffusion on your softbox, then there's really no reason to have a parabolic softbox because you're not getting the advantage of the whole huge parabola if you're using diffusion. So if you're looking for a softbox and you want one that takes less space, go with the Aputure Light Dome SE. As for barn doors, I'm actually using 4 sets of barn doors in this shot right here. I have my key light over here, and then I have the Aputure barn doors here set up. And I have these set up in a way that they're very useful. They are illuminating the side of my face with this teal light, but they're blocking the background from getting all tealed out. That's a real term, tealed out. So if I didn't have those barn doors on there, then the light would just spill all over the background and it wouldn't be set up the way that I wanted it to be set up. Then I have another set of barn doors kind of behind me, just for artistic purposes to kind of break up the red light coming out of this Titan. And then I have another set of Aputure's barn doors from the Fresnel 2X and their 120D Mark II hitting me down here. And that's because I wanted to carve out the light and prevent it from hitting the camera lens. So I'm glad that Aputure has finally released barn doors for the Nova, and I'm also really glad that they are a native accessory to the Nova. So there's no weird straps or Velcro things that you need to latch in order for them to attach to the Nova. They just slot in with a little button that you press to release them. They click in, they're not going anywhere. They work really well, and they have even a little Velcro strap on the side that you can remove if you want to, but it's there to prevent light leak coming out of the side of the barn doors, like pretty much every other light that has ever had barn doors has when, you know, light leaks out the sides. So if you have a very dimly lit environment, those light leaks will create streaks on whatever, you know, wherever you don't want them to be, so you have to use cinefoil, which is just more work. They're really good barn doors. The other thing I like about the barn doors is they come with a nice little handy case. And if you have something like a DOP Choice snap grid, which is one of my other favorite accessories, it'll fit right in the case for the barn doors because these are meant to fold up, and there's a zipper pouch right here. So this will hold both the barn doors and a DOP Choice snap grid. Now let's talk about the dual V-mount plate. Fan's not spinning. At low power, this fan doesn't spin because it's just it's not hot enough. So if you have the Nova running at low power, this will not make any noise, which is a treat. I don't love fan noise, as you may know. Having a dual V-mount to 48 volt power converter like this, it is capable of running very high power, but if you don't need that super high power and it stays relatively cool, the fan will never turn on and it doesn't make any noise. You can set it on the ground, or it has a lightning clamp so you can attach to a C-stand. All the other dual V-mount converters that I've seen, as soon as you turn them on, they start blowing fans everywhere and they're kind of noisy. In fact, another one that I have turned on as my key light over here, that one's also using another dual V-mount converter, and that one is currently blowing fan noise everywhere, and that's not my favorite. So I really like that the Aputure dual V-mount converter doesn't start making fan noise as soon as you turn it on. I'm gonna blast the power for a minute and see how loud this gets, because I only really ever run the Nova at like 10 to 20%, and the fans pretty much never turn on. But I know that that's not true for everybody. Some people really run these things hard. I'm currently using 2 Bebob V-mount batteries. If you're using this thing to power something like the SkyPanel S60, then you're gonna wanna make sure you use high power batteries. My go-to is Bebob batteries because they have a lot of output. They're really reliable. And if you use batteries that aren't rated for high continuous output, then it'll probably hurt the battery life or it'll cause your unit to shut off. We're still going. No fan noise yet. So the Nova's fan is in auto mode, and the fan for the Nova just turned on a minute ago. I'm still waiting for the fan for the dual V-mount converter to turn on. The power conversion in their V-mount converter is super efficient, so it looks like it just doesn't get hot nearly as fast as the Nova itself does. Yeah, still waiting. I'm gonna turn this off and we'll come back when it starts. All right, so it's been like a solid 10 minutes at 100% output on the Nova with the V-mount power, and the fan still hasn't turned on. So I'm convinced it's there simply for like safety reasons if you're filming out in like the hot sun, to prevent the equipment from actually frying. I'm really impressed. I mean, I never run this thing at 100%. I know some people do, and after a while, the fan might turn on, and I'll probably talk about this more on the live stream after I have more time to play with it. But I'm extremely impressed with output as well as the lack of fan noise on the V-mount converter. You know, if you want very directional light, I would still say pick yourself up a grid. Barn doors will let you kind of flag off some of that extra light that's going to the side anyways, and it will let you still have more intensity as opposed to if you were using a grid, because when you're using a grid, it cuts more of the output. When you're using a grid, if you're trying to go for a nice catch light, you'll get that weird kind of beehive situation going in your eye lights. So anyways, I really like the APUTURE barn doors so far, and the V-mount converter I'm extremely impressed with. And of course, I've been using the Light Dome SE for months now. These are all really great and very affordable accessories from APUTURE. If you want to pick any of them up, there are links to them in the description of this video. I know this isn't like my usual really high produced video review of things, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about these. I'm excited about them and I wanted to share. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.